Being a streamer is one of the most sought after careers in today's generation. Even when people are lucky enough to make it happen, fewer people are actually able to maintain it. Throughout the years, we've seen hundreds of new streamers take the world by storm. Speed, Kai, Aiden, Queso, and many more. But what about the streamers that created a reputation for themselves and then watched it all burn down? Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the streamers that did exactly that. This is exactly what happened to streamer. His name is on the screen. I don't have a damn clue as to how to say it. We're just going to call him Stan. He was a streamer from Russia who we would basically call a trash streamer, which is a term used to describe a streamer that would get basically shit-faced and then go live to make himself somehow more entertaining. I don't really know. Anyways, he would dedicate the majority of his live streams to doing dares that his viewers suggest to him when they donate a certain amount of money. There were times that he was given hundreds or even thousands of dollars to beat up his friends, and he would do it. He would literally do insane things because the money was good, so he would just listen to the audience to do the dares. He apparently had this one homeless friend come live with him for a short amount of time where Stan would basically torture him for content of the stream and obviously make money from it. But like anyone else, this friend would finally get some common sense to his fucking head and leave the house, leaving Stan to look for someone else to bully on his live streams. And can you guess who his next victim would be? Well, if you guessed his girlfriend Valentina, you would be correct. He would do some crazy things to this girl. It started off with just verbal abuse, but then quickly escalated to physical abuse. He would pepper spray her and often pin her to the ground, but none of these actions would be as bad as what happened on the night of December 2nd, 2020. Stan was streaming as usual when a viewer donated $1,000 and dared Stan to beat up Valentina and lock her outside of the house. So as expected, he did exactly that. Keep in mind, as I said before, Stan lives in Russia, which, if you don't already know, can get to literally below zero in the winters, meaning that locking Valentina outside would be actually life-threatening. But he somehow overlooked that in his shit-faced mind because he still proceeded to do it. But locking her outside after beating her wasn't enough for Stan, so he decided to remove the clothes off of her first, pour water all over her, and then proceeded to throw her outside. Throughout the stream, you can hear Valentina screaming to be let back inside, and in some instances, you can hear her screaming and banging on the windows. But obviously Stan, being the true gentleman that he is, completely ignored her, playing into the quote-unquote joke and the torture for the escalated entertainment of the stream. Eventually, though, the knocking would stop, and Stan just kind of figured she got tired and stopped. Then, after an hour and a half of streaming like nothing was going on, he finally remembered that she was out there. So, like the loving boyfriend he is, he decided that he would go check on her. But what he found was not what he expected. He found Valentina dead on the ground outside. Oh, and if this isn't bad enough, I forgot to mention earlier that she was pregnant. So yeah, basically this dude was beating his pregnant girlfriend and had her freeze outside for the likes of the entertainment. She was pronounced dead at the hospital a few hours later, but oddly enough, she didn't die from freezing outside, but died to the head trauma that was caused from Stan beating her before locking her outside. So this guy basically murdered his girlfriend and his unborn child for $1,000 on Twitch. Going back in time a little bit more, back in 2017, Fortnite would come out, and this brought a lot of new streamers to the surface. Some good, some bad. You might remember this streamer named Deller, who would basically become the new FaZe Jev with his insane rages and crash outs from the games that he was playing. But one day, Deller was streaming as usual when he died in Overwatch and decided to say the N-word 60 times out of frustration. That's right, 60, not 16, 6-0. He was eventually banned on Twitch, which would obviously hinder his career a lot since that was his main income. Deller somehow came back and defended himself, saying that he had a bad day. I don't know what kind of bullshit apology that is, but somehow people forgave him. This would ultimately result in him retiring from esports and being dropped from his professional gaming team. So you would think that by him saying the N-word and having his career destroyed that he would learn something. But Deller clearly didn't learn, as months later he was banned again for calling one of his female teammates a bitch and telling her to go make him a sandwich.
You're bad.
Shut the fuck up.
You're fucking bad.
I hope you get fucked on.
Well, of course I am. I don't have armor. You took it.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Fucking trash. Go fucking cook a fucking sandwich, you fucking bitch.
I mean, this dude at the time was like 30 years old, and he legitimately sounds like the 12-year-olds that I played Black Ops 2 with back in 2018. If you were around during those times, you know what those lobbies were like. That is truly where boys became men. Anyways, after this, he would result in another ban on Twitch. He would then post some bullshit apology hoping that his viewers would forgive him again. But honestly, this aided in his downfall in my opinion. This dude also somehow got unbanned again on Twitch, even though he did all of these things at his own free will. After his unban on the platform, his career would never really fully recover and left basically everyone to forget about him. And after all of that, somehow Deller's Twitch channel is still up. His channel has over 750,000 followers, but I don't think he actually streams here anymore because when you go to his recent broadcast tab, it comes up blank, hinting that he probably doesn't stream here anymore. I don't know, I remember watching this guy for a little while back in like 2018, and all I could think about was this dude is literally the epitome of a fucking man-child. Anyways, moving on to our next contestant. In my last video, we covered how OnlyFans girls were faking having Down syndrome for views and subscriptions to their OnlyFans. Well, this next streamer did something pretty similar, because he would be faking a disability for money too. Zillion Op, or Zillion OP, was a streamer who was in a pretty bad car accident and was left wheelchair bound. Which, basically overall, he just wasn't able to walk. In his normal live streams, he would have a face cam, which you could see him playing video games while sitting in a wheelchair, which in turn would lead him to gain a pretty large audience because people felt bad about what happened to him, and they wanted to help him in his current situation. The dude basically built a pity fan base. The people in his streams were sending him money in order to get him a new wheelchair, but unfortunately, he was not being truthful to the people donating or the rest of his audience in general. So in dumbass terms, he didn't even need the wheelchair. In this clip from his stream, you can see him go to take a break from the video game he was playing and accidentally stand up, completely exposing that he does not need the wheelchair after all. Over the Discord call, you can hear his girlfriend gasp as she sees him stand up and basically unintentionally spill the truth live in front of his whole audience. She then tries to say some bullshit story. I guess it was in hopes to take the audience's attention off of the fact that their favorite disabled streamer just revealed the truth right in front of their eyes.
Follow me.
Maybe I don't want to follow you.
Like gay on normal. Around the house. Could only imagine that it's like a million times gayer and heroic.
I'll be back. Maybe like at the end of the expansion when it's easily outgeared.
Our dog. Oh my god, we took our dog, like to the fish shop today because the dog loves just like going out and meeting new people. And we constantly have to take him to like be introduced to new like random people and stuff. So
My theory of why he did this was because people were basically only donating him money because he was disabled. So when he was finally able to walk again, he didn't say anything because, well, the money coming in was worth the lie. To make matters even worse, he returned to his desk and immediately angled the camera down to the desk so that you couldn't see him walk on his own 2 feet back into the room, basically trying to hide the fact that he stood up in the first place.
like came and sat on my lap, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. Like he's cuddling with me because he's scared. He stands up. He took.
So not only did he lie and get caught, but he still tried to cover it up afterwards like nothing happened. But that's pretty much going to do it for today's video. Quickly before the video ends, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on my recent videos. YouTube's been a hobby of mine for a pretty long time, so I finally decided, you know what, I'll just pursue it. At the end of the day, I'm just some jackass with a Gandhi profile picture that records his voice into a microphone. So I really do appreciate the support, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.